Hey everybody, welcome to the Author on Wheels podcast. My name is John Wood and I am affectionately known as Author on Wheels. This is a podcast discussing my books, my life, and my fight to survive. Join us as we have some incredible interviews with some incredible authors. Troy is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who has earned a master's degree in counselor/psychology, a bachelor's degree in biblical studies, associate degree in arts, and an associate degree in graphic designs. Troy is a standing member of Phi Theta Kappa and Sigma Beta Delta. He holds design awards that consist of an etching and has received a gold album along with a gold CD from the music industry. Because Troy loves graphic designs so much, he is now working on his bachelor's degree in business with a concentration in graphic designs. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, heck. Don't do this to me now. Troy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, buddy. Sorry about that. I was having a connection issue there.
It's okay.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Author on Wheels podcast, episode number 1. This is our official first interview, and today we are sitting in the studio, remotely, really, with Mr. Troy Watts, and he and I are going to sit down and talk to you guys a little bit about Troy's journey here. So, Troy, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, including your book titles and what led you to writing and anything else that you feel that you want to tell us today.
Sure, John. Not a problem. Okay, I was born in Chicago. As a child, I worked like all my life. I worked in my grandfather's store. I was the youngest assistant manager for Kentucky Fried Chicken while I was in high school. I moved to Pensacola about 4 years ago. At this point, I attend Pensacola State College. I have already earned my associate's degree in graphic design, and I'm now working in a bachelor in business with a concentration in graphic designs.
That is incredible. Now, this next question kind of bounces off a little bit about what we just went into at the end here. What would you say fuels your passion for writing or graphic design or, all these other things that you do?
Well, my passion is always going to be fueled on children. I really believe that children are our upcoming generations and they're our future. I've always believed that children are supposed to always take priority because they're going to be running our future. My whole thing is that, if a child is unhappy or a child is going through something, then we're all going to go through something. So I'm fueled basically by just making sure that children have what they need. So I try to write. And as I write, anything that we do or anything that I make, I always try to give half of it back to children.
Yes. I absolutely love that. That was probably the best answer I've ever heard. Another question I would have for you is, what advice would you give those listening who possibly want to write a book or something along that nature, but they're having trouble thinking of ideas or motivating themselves to write?
Jen, I like to go back a little bit.
Yes,
if I can.
Sure.
I know you asked me a question earlier about book titles and my books or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Can I go back and elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yes, actually, please do.
Okay, thank you. Dribbles is a character that we created. The character is called Dribbles, the all-knowing cat. This cat seems to know everything. But at the end of the day, he finds out he doesn't know it all through his friends, Nikki, Blicky, and Ricky. He always learns a lesson after each book. What we're trying to do is we've already created a series of books.
Mm-hmm.
First book is Dribbles, Questions, Questions, Questions. The second book is going to be Dribbles, ABCs. The
Mm-hmm.
third book is going to be Can Dribbles Read? So,
I like that.
yeah, so what we're doing is we're creating books so that children can have an opportunity to understand basically not just their downfalls, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody's downfalls. I've always believed in never pointing a finger at anybody. I've always believed
Right.
in everybody helping everybody
Mm-hmm.
else out because we all have choices.
Yes.
So kids have those same choices. So this is why I'm writing. I'm writing back from 20, 30 years ago when I was a kid. So I guess we were explaining things differently. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with how books are being written today.
Right.
What I am saying is that I like to get down with the nitty gritty with hey, do you really know how to do this? Hey, do you really know how to do that? Whether it be the ABCs, the one, two, threes, or whether it's reading. And what happens
Mm-hmm.
is Dribble captures all of these questions that I have for children. So I want to bring Dribbles and his friends into all children's life. Matter of fact, I want to bring them into everybody's life.
Right. Exactly. And I actually, it's funny that you started talking about Dribbles' first book, Questions, Questions, Questions. I happen to have the sealed 2 copies sitting right here on my desk,
Oh, good. I'm
which
glad to,
is
yeah.
which is incredible because I gave out the entire box that Derek had sent me from from y'all, and the last 2 copies are actually still sitting here, and it's from what I've been reading in this book to what I've seen online, what I've watched on YouTube. This character is only an inspiration to the children of today, but I believe it's going to be, like you said, something that 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, Dribbles is going to be in the hearts and minds of children today that are reading this to their
And that's
future
what I'm looking
children.
for. I think a lot of my inspiration also comes from Dr.
Yes.
Seuss. Dr. Seuss was in everybody's household. Even
Uh-huh.
today, the books are still there.
Yes.
So a lot of my inspiration comes from Dr. Seuss because I even read all Dr. Seuss books to my children. I've read all of their books to my children. And I just hope one day that my book, Dribbles, will be read the same way as I'm reading Dr. Seuss to my kids.
Yes. Think of it this way, and this is kind of thing that I just thought of. Dribbles is today's modern day Dr. Seuss. And that's one of the things that inspired me to write my children's book series, was that everybody has a story to tell, and it's up to them to find out the way that they want to or that they can tell that story. You have written this, or you've helped write this book. You've helped basically form the minds of children today in any way, shape, and form through this character Dribbles, and that inspires me to continue what I'm doing to help
John. That's what I'm trying to
those in
do.
need
Not
today.
just you.
So thank you
I'm
for
really
that,
trying to
honestly.
inspire everybody to like get in there, boots on the ground, and let's try to help these kids out. Because I'm pretty sure at this point, all of our profits, let me say, half of those profits go back into children's hospitals. That's our main concern. Like I said, we want to see children uplifted. We want to see children learn.
Yes.
We want to see children do what they need to do to get to advance. That's our whole goal, yeah.
Exactly. And us fueling the children of America today will help them become you know, outstanding citizens in the future, when they're our age, when they're in their 30s, in their 40s, when they're raising families of their own. Is that exactly
Yeah, no worries.
that's exactly what I want to
No worries.
see. And I'm impressed by that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, there is.
Is there anything else you
Yeah, I have some
is there
things to
anything
say.
else
The
you'd like to
people
say about
out
this
there that
about it?
actually do want to write, my things are, first off, is you have to have an idea. The second thing is you really need to be disciplined.
Hmm.
Third is you can't be afraid. You have to put it on paper. The fourth thing is that anybody can do it. It's not a hard task. But the thing is, sometimes we all going to need help. All of us need help with anything that we do. At the end of the day, there are other ghostwriting places. You may have an idea, but you may not have the
Yes.
drive or either the know-how to say, you know what, how do I put this on paper? If you have an idea, there are ghostwriting people out there that can actually help you write a book. Me,
Exactly.
I try to keep a pen and paper by my bed, so when I'm thinking of something, I like to write it down. But there are people, like I said, they may not have the creativity, but they want to get this done. I know there's a company out there called D.H. Bonner. School with her. And this girl's company and her books, you see her
Yes.
on Facebook all the time. Her company and her books are well put together.
Hmm.
So that's just another option for people that want to do it but don't know how to get started or don't. You can get in
Hmm.
touch with people like D.H. Bonner, and she can help you get started. Whether you want to write your own book, whether you need help writing your book, whether you need editing your book. But there's ways to do it. But the thing is that me, like everybody else, we have to put our feet on the ground and we have to start writing. We have to have a plan. We have to be disciplined. And we can't be afraid, and we can never let anybody tell us that we can't do it. That's the biggest thing. Never let anybody tell you to bring you down and say you can't do it. You have to do it.
That's incredible. That is incredible. You are a very outspoken man. Thank you. Thank you for those words. And I hope my listeners that are out there today hearing this, I hope you guys understand where Troy is coming from with this. This is, you know, if you're not willing to take the initiative and do the thing, basically, then what are you saying to yourself? You're saying, number one, I don't have the guts to do this. Number two, I'm afraid of what people are going to think of me. And number three, I'm afraid of the repercussions after I get this out there. I've had those opportunities or those fears in my life, in my writing journey. And it's people like Troy, guys, are the reason why there are people out there that are writing and forming people and shaping them to be productive members of society. And that's exactly what I want to see in the world today, not just as an author on wheels, but as a person who has fought to survive
You're welcome, John. Very
through many
welcome.
struggles, many tribulations to be where he is today. So thank you. Thank you for that, Troy. And one more question I have, and if after this, if you want to continue with any other discussion, let me know. But number four, where can our listeners contact you in regards to these titles
John,
and
I have an open
the
door
Dribbles,
policy. So there
the
are two
Dribbles
ways that
series?
people can
Where
get in
can they
contact with
contact
us.
you in regards
They
to
can either go to
hearing more about Dribbles?
kno3id.com, or I'll give them my email address. My email address is P_W_KNO3ID
Okay.
at yahoo.com. Again, I answer all emails, and my door is open to anybody with questions. I'm here to answer them for you.
And guys, all of the information that we discuss in this podcast will be linked in the information on this episode, and I'm honestly very, very blessed to have been able to sit down with Troy Watts today, guys. You're a very inspirational person. You're a very well-spoken person, really, and I thank you for taking the opportunity to take a few minutes out of your day to sit down and inspire the minds and the children of America with your series and with everything that we've talked about today, even in just a short time. Thank you so much for allowing the Author on Wheels to be inspired by someone who doesn't let fear back him down from a fight, or in this case, from putting out such an incredible book. Like, you don't understand, guys, what your impact could be on other people. You don't understand when you sit down and you physically say, I'm going to tell my story and I don't know how to do it. You always find ways to do that. I've found ways to do that, and I've been an author for a year. I'm coming up on my first year as a published author in March, and this journey so far has been incredible, and getting to sit down with people like Troy have been something that I've been blessed to do and have wanted to do for years. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Troy. And guys, this is the end of the episode, the first episode on Wheels. To learn more about our podcast schedule, or you can follow us on our website, which will be linked in the information of this episode. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. And again, we'd like to thank you, Troy, for popping in on us and giving us a little bit of wisdom. Guys, we will see you on the next episode of the Author on Wheels podcast. But before we go, this is the Author on Wheels reminding you that your life is a story, and I'm imposing the question of how are you going to write the next chapter?
Thanks, Jeff.